don't give a shit.
I'm taking a quick look at this week's NFL games, dude, and I'm honestly I don't think there's an upset gonna happen. I think the game I'm really interested in is Pittsburgh at Cleveland because they played so close that first game of the season.
Yeah, that's
I'm completely switching gears, but I'm staying with football.
Yeah, I mean, let's roll it on over to NFL football. I mean, you look at Cleveland Pittsburgh going to Cleveland. That could be a crazy.
Right, and when they played at Pittsburgh, Cleveland only lost by 3.
Right.
And let's face it, Pittsburgh's not the same. I mean, they're going into this game at 2-2. So I'm not going to say this is a must-win, but Pittsburgh needs to win this game.
Yeah, well, right now they're fucking the spread is not with them.
Right, but I mean it's a division game, right?
Yeah, but and obviously, but Cleveland is Pittsburgh is the underdog by 1 point going into this game, and on some places they're a 2-point underdog. Cleveland's the favorite. Cleveland's been balling. Look at how.
I'm sorry, Pittsburgh's 3-2. What the fuck? Why is this? All right, yeah, Pittsburgh's 3-2. So they're tied with Baltimore, and Cincinnati's 3-1. So if Pittsburgh wins this, it's going to help them in the division. Because in the division, they're 1-1. The only undefeated team in the division is Cincinnati, and they're only 1-0. So they need to win this game.
Yeah, I mean I think it's going to be a challenge for them, man. Cleveland's got a lot of momentum going after they made that huge comeback last week, and the Steelers have just been fucking up and down. I mean, they've been, at 1 week they look like okay, they can be contenders in this division. The next week they look like complete ass. I mean, I hate that for all you Pittsburgh fans out there, but it's true. I mean, it's like a roller coaster ride, man.
The other thing I was going to talk about is Philadelphia needs to win this to go to 5-1 and go into a bye and try to get their shit together. Because I don't care what anyone says, they're the worst 4-1 team in the NFL. I was like, their defense is a joke. It reminds me of the year. Do you remember when the Chicago Bears went to the Super Bowl and played the Colts and Peyton Manning got his first thing? Dude. First Super Bowl win.
Yeah.
That year, if people want to go back and look at what the Bears did, dude, they got defensive touchdowns, they got special teams touchdowns. It's like when the ball bounced, it went their way. And right now, that's how the Eagles have it. They played that game versus San Francisco was way closer than the score really was because they didn't score an offensive touchdown. And the idea, I'm not saying you need a mobile quarterback to win.
Right.
But when you run that type of Chip Kelly offense, you kind of need the threat of somebody might possibly run. Right. And right now, Nick Foles doesn't present that. The offense they don't care. They put 8 in the box because they know he's not gonna pull the ball and take off with it. He's gonna pass. It's just, and their defense is terrible.
And that's the thing, man. Fuck Nick. I mean, Nick Foles is definitely not playing up to what. Don't eat that shit off camera. Don't fake. Nick Foles is definitely not the guy that everybody, I think, at least he's not playing at this point in time like he was playing. I don't think he's playing up to everybody's expectations. That's how I'll put it. The defense is fucked up, I was just talking to a couple fellas in the gym. When you got a defense, when you're like that on the defensive side of the ball, you just don't win championships. The only time I saw that happen was in New Orleans that one year when Brees and them won the championship, and then with the greatest show on turf. But other than that, it's always defense wins championships. We all know that. And their defense is just fucked up.
You can go back and look at Chip Kelly in college.
Right.
If you go back and look at his teams in college, he didn't play. He's never had defense. He doesn't believe in defense. I don't know what his issue is with trying to put a defense together, but even if if you took all the Pro Bowlers in the entire NFL, with 4 Pro Bowlers on backup at every position, right, the amount of plays they're on the field is unrealistic for them to keep up that pace. Right. Like, they're just too beat up and too worn down. And Kerry Williams said it earlier. He's like, dude, we don't have the legs to pull this bullshit off. And I completely agree. Yeah. But it's just going to be a long season in Philadelphia. I still think they have a shot at winning the East, but the team right now that scares me the most is Dallas. Dallas has reinvented themselves. They figured out, what, our line's big, we're going to come out and punch you in the mouth, but right now, DeMarco Murray he's fumbled every single game.
Let me tell you something, man. When you look at Dallas, and I don't know how people are not saying this, look at them getting rid of Ryan, okay? They get rid of Rob Ryan, right? He goes to where? New Orleans. Look at how shitty New Orleans looks. Their defense looks. Terrible. They get rid of him, they bring in Monty Kitchen and the other bro, and they're looking good all of a sudden. Their defense, working with scraps, Dallas's defense is looking much improved from last year.
Have you seen Monty Kiffin?
Huh?
Have you physically seen Monty Kiffin? I don't think anyone's seen him. I think it's some Weekend at Bernie shit. I think people are just propping him up.
No, he sits up in the booth, man. He's like the guy.
Yeah,
he's like the
being propped up by 3 other fucking people. He's a robot being operated.
Yeah. But he's doing that.
He can't. There's no way he's alive. He's a living fossil.
He's like that. He's like Johnny Depp. He's like Johnny Depp. You know, where his brain is still alive and shit. Anyway, get enough of that shit. Good game this week is Indianapolis going to Houston. Everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I need J.J. Watt to show up and give me some fucking fantasy points.
Obviously, Houston is the underdog, even though they're at home. Indianapolis, Andrew Luck and their crew's been looking pretty good lately. They're the 3-point favorites as of right now. 2 points.
The problem with Houston is they have no offense.
Well, yeah.
Arian Foster had a great game last week. This shit's not going to happen again.
And I had him on the bench. But didn't need it because I beat you because you had everybody else on the bench. Oh, shit. Yeah. But,
beat that.
What's that?
Now.
Okay.
No, I was telling you you're number one. I'm going to tell you right now, the team in the AFC who looks the nastiest, and you are going to understand how hard this is for me to say this.
San Diego.
The San Diego Chargers. Yeah.
You're like this one.
They lose a 1-point game to open the season at Arizona, who has been playing crazy. Arizona's been playing everybody tough. But then they go on 30-21, they beat Seattle. 22-10 they win. 33-14 and 31-0 going away. So they beat up the teams they should beat, Jacksonville and New York. They beat them and they beat them bad. Because we see a lot of these good teams go in to play lesser teams and they play down to them. San Diego's like, no, we're smashing you. Yeah. So I think San Diego is going to come out of the if they don't win the AFC, they're going to be right in the thick of it come playoff time.
You know, it's funny because, I mean, and they did that thing where you travel across country when they played the Bills and beat the Bills. They've covered the spread almost every fucking game. They got an easy game this week where they visit the Raiders in Oakland, and they're 7-point favorites. I'd have them covering that spread and a lot more. They might double that shit, you know?
In all seriousness, how much would it take you to go coach the Oakland Raiders?
Who, me?
Who's going to take that job?
I don't know. People are talking about Gruden. People are like, Gruden. I'm like, Gruden? They fuck Gruden. The problem with the Raiders organization is when Al Davis...
They fuck everybody.
Bending everybody over. So Raiders fans, your organization kind of has been like the Redskins. I mean, which it's just...
Do you know what?
80s, 90s shit.
Look. With this first-round draft pick you got coming up, trade down. Because one player will not help the Raiders. Go back and look at what the Dallas Cowboys have done. Go look at Seattle's thing. Trade back, get multiple picks. Stop thinking that a first round there is no. If you took the number 1 pick in the first round and the number 1 pick in the second round, those 2 guys can't do enough to save the Raiders. Yeah. Jesus and Gandhi could come back and they're not going to save the Raiders. Not going to happen.
They're not.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you
Rotten.com. They stink. Them and the Jets might be the 2 worst teams in the NFL. Next to the Redskins.
Yeah, they're fucked up. Yeah, I can't. What am I going to say? I can't deny. Another very interesting game.
The thing that kills me about your team?
Obviously, Dallas travels to Seattle. Now, let me tell you something. Seattle's
going to lose.
They're playing in Seattle. So calm down, George.
No, I put it this way. Dallas doesn't lose by more than 3.
Okay, and you know what? Seattle's 8-point favorites right now. Now, in some cases, they're 9-point favorites. I don't see Seattle covering that spread. Even in fucking...
No, I don't either.
Seattle, you know?
Mm-mm.
Now, another very interesting game this week is New England, after their incredible performance, all the shit about Tom Brady...
Hold on. I forgot one thing.
What?
Dallas still has Tony Romo. Dallas loses.
Right. But
Go
you
ahead.
said they're going to lose. You just said they're not going to lose by 8 or 9. Right?
Yeah, well, I thought Dallas was going to win. And then I forgot. Tony Romo, if that shit gets close, Tony Romo will throw up all over himself, shit his pants, and give the ball back to Seattle.
Now, that's the George that I know. Thank you for coming back. You got a little delirious. Maybe too much pizza. I'm just saying. New England's going to Buffalo. That, to me...
Who the fuck cares?
Huh?
Why?
I mean, it's an interesting matchup. Who do you have in this?
Kansas City.
Come on, man. Seriously.
I mean, it seemed like New England got their shit together last week, but who did they play last week? They played no one, didn't they?
No,
they beat up. They did exactly what they. Yeah, they played no one.
The Bengals were undefeated. You got to give them a little bit of that.
Yeah, Brady went for 292. Stephen Ridley went for $113, and Gronkowski went for 100. So obviously, Cincinnati. In the meantime, dude, how long is Marvin Lewis going to keep his fucking job?
You know why? Because they get to the playoffs.
Because he's black?
But they get there. They get there.
Well, okay, so he's the modern day Denny Green.
Pretty much. And
so cool.
And he's
who they vote? Shut up. Go back groceries, you fat fuck.
Exactly. So who do you got this game?
So, and anyway, it's going to be New England. New England has gotten back. I think New England's found the recipe. And like Bill Belichick said, he's like, look, with the way the NFL is and the preseason and all this, it's going to take, these first 4 weeks are actually our real preseason. And you know what? He's right in stride. Week 5, they came out and blitzed the fucking shit out of the Bengals. They had no idea what was going on and got mollywopped. Same thing's going to happen this weekend. I think we're about to watch New England go one hell of a run.
I think you're going to see Buffalo blitzing the fuck out of Tom Brady in that fucking depleted line. That's what I think is going to happen. Because, you know, the Detroit's former coach is now over there as the defensive coordinator for the Bills. They look much improved.
What a douche move he did last week, huh?
I kind of like that.
Carry me on your shoulders when we beat Buffalo. I'd have been like, no. You can walk, fatty. I don't care if we win by 100.
Blood boilers. You know what?
Oh, yeah, dude, that.
Funky ass.
Well, I would have loved it if Golden Tate said I would have smacked him if I wouldn't have got fined. I'm like, I don't know about that. But
yeah. Kind of, you know.
I think the game I most want to see this week is probably Chicago at Atlanta, because I think it's going to say a lot about both teams and if they're ready. Because Atlanta has been kind of, you know, they were supposed to be this, that, and the other thing, Matty Ice, and this, that, and blah, 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 and they just lost to the Giants.
Yeah.
They're 2-3. So they need this game. I think if Atlanta loses this game versus Chicago, they're going to be up a fucking creek.
Yeah, because the game's in Atlanta, too.
In Atlanta,
he's great. Outside of Atlanta, dude, he's like the new Drew Brees with that shit. You know?
Dude, and the Bears are 2-3. Like, this is a must-win for both teams. It's ridiculous that it's week 6, and we're talking about must-wins. But when you're 2-3 and you've already lost to Green Bay in your division, I mean, you need a win. A win is a win is a win. I mean, right now, you're probably looking at a wild card.
Yeah, I mean, but Atlanta's favored by 3. I don't know. Do you think they'll cover? I think they'll cover.
Yeah.
I think Matt Ryan will get it done in Atlanta.
I think so. Well, now let me ask you a question. Let's go back to the NFC East, where you and I are definitely more familiar with everything. What do you think about the New York Giants all of a sudden?
What do you mean? I think.
Well, they start the season. They lose bad at Detroit, 35-14. They lose to Arizona, but then they turn around and they beat Houston. They win at Washington, and they beat Atlanta.
Right.
And now they're putting up. And they're putting up points. They put up 60. They put up 105 points in 3 games, where the first 2 they put up 28.
Well, they're in the same situation that you're still seeing with Brady in New England. They're dealing with a new system. You know, offensive system, and they said, hey, you know, it's going to take guys a while to get used to this system. And now it seems like they're clicking on all cylinders. But you know how it is. Eli Manning is, sometimes he's incredible.
Got 2 Super Bowls?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was getting at. Sometimes he's incredible, but then sometimes he's super inconsistent, you know? Right. You know? The one thing I did want to make, and I'm gonna say this again. I've said it.
Well, they play at Philly. They play at Philly Sunday night at 8:30. Who are you taking? What do you have the spread on that one?
I think Philly's favored by 3. Let me see.
Philly's gonna lose by a touchdown.
Yeah, Philly right now is a 3-point favorite.
Philly loses by a touchdown.
They're at home. That's because they're at home. You know what's funny? I think right now I'd go with the Giants, man. The Giants have
I take the Giants straight up.
Philly had their last 3 games. You know? I just think that the Giants defense is coming on. Giants defense the last 2 games have been disruptive as shit. If they can do that to Nick Foles, who hasn't been on his feet, he hasn't been playing the best, they can fuck shit
Fuck
up.
Nick Foles. Tell me who's killing more fantasy football teams right now than LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah, and that's another thing. He's hurt. Now the bottom line is we see what Eli Manning's doing lately with his numbers. If they can continue to doing that when they go to Philly, they could put up 30 on Philly. Is Philly going to be able to keep up with them? If Giants look like
they have the ability to. Now, will they be able to execute and do it? Is the question. I don't execute. It's a girl from down the street.
Wow.
They need to execute and perform better. But my thing is and look, I could be wrong, I could be an ass. I don't think there's a defense that Philadelphia can't score on. I really don't. I think you might limit them, but I don't think anyone's going to keep Philadelphia from scoring. Oh wait, never mind. San Francisco just did. Never mind. Yeah, they fucking suck, dude. They're the worst 4-1 team in the NFL. I don't give a shit what anyone says. When you score 21 points and your offense puts up that many, you're not going to win.
Yeah. I think they're going to struggle against every team they play in the NFC West. I
think they're going to struggle every game going forward.
Because all those teams in the NFC West have great defenses. And I think if you can slow Philly down, especially with Shady not playing a lot right now and fucking Nick Foles inconsistent play, then you'll put more points on the board because they don't have a defense. It's you, me, and 9 other guys out there in Philly for defense. Anyway, we're going to get this shit. We're going to end this shit this week. Love you guys out there. Thanks for always supporting us. Is that good? Is that like I have a dream speech? Thank you guys, been great. That's just some more fucked up shit.
Get him, Barack.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway,
I'm out.
Deuces. Adios, people.